Hi Karen, how are you?
Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of Like, Share, Follow. It's episode 39, and this week I have Rachael Tickner, who is the director of Rachael Elizabeth Consulting. Thank you, Rachael, and it's Tickner. So, welcome to the show.
I'm so excited to be a part of the show. I've been watching some of the other episodes, and it's great to see some familiar faces as well with past students who I studied with and seeing what they've been up to. So I look forward to chatting with you today and sharing some social media tips and advice throughout my career since uni also.
Yeah, well, it's been great, and I think I started this show just so I could catch up with everyone again, because it's great to hear what they've been up to. But it's also been great because it helps to it helps to really inspire our current students and to show them the possibilities of what they can do after they graduate. But it's also a great way to sort of show off our grads as well, just to see all the amazing things that they've been doing. So tell me, we just worked out, it's been a couple of years. We were saying that last year didn't actually really. Yeah, but it's been a couple of years since you graduated from USC. So what have you been doing since then?
It has, Karen. We last got to see each other at graduation, which I feel very blessed that we did get to graduate in person. I certainly know the other students last year, unfortunately, they didn't get to in person, but we have been very, very busy with my consulting brand, Rachael Elizabeth Consulting, and I have been working very hard on that, working with a variety of different clients across the health sector, and I work with some lifestyle clients as well. I really enjoy working with other agencies also, so I do some contracting to an agency on the Sunshine Coast and one here in Brisbane, which I really, really enjoy. Since uni, I also worked as a marketing coordinator for a landscaping company called Truescapes, which actually I saw the job that you had posted. So thank you very much again for that opportunity, because if I hadn't seen it on your social media feed, giving students the opportunity to apply when you see positions that are available, I wouldn't have had that opportunity. And that worked really well with our family life as well. It was a part-time position, and that was very diverse. So some social media content, some social media reporting, some branding exercises, PR and articles, and some SEO content writing as well. So that was fantastic. And meanwhile, doing that part-time work, I've just been getting referral clients and building my business as well. I get a lot of work from LinkedIn, which is a fantastic platform. It's been wonderful too that I've worked with some clients now for over 10 years that have come back now that I'm doing my own consulting. My husband and I did have a PR agency about 10 years ago. So I've actually been studying at USC 3 times. So my first enrollment was 2002 when I was fresh out of school, which was amazing. And then 2018 was with yourself as well, and I was doing social media, which I absolutely loved. And I think it's been really, really great that I've been able to have those skills from, going to uni when Facebook was only just emerging, when I was leaving in 2005, to now just seeing what social media is and all the jobs that it's created as well. So yeah, I think I love the industry that I'm in, and I think it's ever evolving and exciting.
Yeah, it so is. Like, it changes from day to day. So I say that because I've got a short attention span, so it keeps me on my toes. I really love it because of that. So tell me, what has been some of the best career advice you've been given?
Sure, I do love this question, and I often think about this when we're working with new clients, or my last role was associate editor of the Pharmacy Guild member publication. And I think that whatever job you put yourself forward for, you've just really got to give it your all. And, I know that as a uni student, you have more time to fine tune things, to perfect everything. So, with assignments, you're proofreading, you're getting feedback from your lecturers and tutorers. But in the real world of the workplace, the deadlines are tighter and you have to think on your feet more. You often are under pressure. You're dealing with lots of different stakeholders. So I think it's just, being able to be the best version of yourself with the skill set you have, and just knowing that you are producing the best possible work with the resources that you have. And I think that's definitely been something that a lot of mentors have told me from earlier on in my career, and it rings very true now. And I certainly say that to some of the students which I've worked with as well through our consulting business and the other agencies. So I definitely feel that, just listening to advice, doing professional development, networking as well. I think that all the advice from people that are even more experienced is very good advice to, take throughout your career, really, which I've always done.
Yeah, and so because you tell me that you seem to attract clients really quite easily, which is good. So what do you think sets you apart from, say, other grads in the way that you attract clients? What do you think you offer that's your sort of unique selling proposition?
Sure, that's a great question too, Karen. And I think that one thing which I've always been very lucky, like earlier on, even prior to university and with school, I always would put my hand up for the extracurricular activities, work experience. So prior to being offered an internship at the Sunshine Coast Daily when I was first at university, I volunteered at Win News for a number of years. So Sunshine Coast Daily and Resort News was a publication that's still going as well in the hospitality industry. So I built a portfolio from a very early age and would always put my hand up, even in school, as early as school, was part of the debating team, public speaking and so forth. So I think that even as I've gotten older and, I've now gone on to have a family and, building the consulting business and having gone back to uni to study social media, and also last semester I did some law subjects as well, which was fantastic. So I feel that you're always learning and you're always evolving, and it's it's exciting just to keep your finger on the pulse with the industry.
And so tell me, what have been some of the most beneficial things that you learned at university that you use now? Like what are the best things that you've learned?
Yeah, I think number one, like the main skill which I took from uni straight away, of course, is your time management, your meeting deadlines for assignment, your group work is really, really valuable. And I think when that translates into the real world, you're dealing with a variety of people in an organisation, or from a consulting perspective, you're working with the client and then contractors, whether it be graphic designers, website developers, social media coordinators and so forth. So I definitely think that, you just need to ensure that with social media in general and anything that you're learning at uni, you're, using those time management skills, the deadlines you're reaching, you're continuing to communicate as well with all the people that you're working with, ensuring that everyone's on the same page. And I think resilience is something that comes with experience as well. Like in your career, you're going to have so many different experiences and opportunities, and you'll work with so many different team members and projects, and you do the best you can to ensure that that project is very successful. But I think you've got to be realistic too, that you're doing the best for your client or for your employer. And uni definitely sets you up for really good grounding skills for that. And I think as you do graduate and you do go into the workforce and you've got that work experience behind you, your role just flourishes, and your experience, of course, comes with that too.
Tell me, on the flip side of that, what has been something that you wish you learned at university that you've really needed since you've been out working?
Definitely, that is a great question. That, I guess I've touched on that a little bit with just the resilience side of things. I think that I know that one of the former students, Lacey as well, who's a dear friend, she touched on this as well. I think when you do go into a workplace, from a university perspective, you get great feedback on all of your assignments, group work and so forth, but nothing really prepares you for being in the likes of a newsroom when you are a journalist, or, in that boardroom, the client that you're working with or the brand that you're representing in a real life workplace. So I think that uni is fantastic for setting you up, but I do think that, just that experience is something that it's just hands-on. So I'm so grateful that I did that work experience. And I think with uni, the fact that second time around as well, everything was a lot more virtual too. So it was fantastic to always be able to get assistance from the lecturers and tutorers. And I'm sure that all the students that have been doing remote learning throughout COVID as well, they would have become even more resilient for when they do graduate as well into the workforce.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, it was a bit like that last year because it was just so sudden. It was everyone just had to be really nimble and flexible and just work with it. So
yeah, we all had to pivot and be very creative with our businesses. And I mean, sadly, a lot of businesses were affected, but I think it's been great to see so many businesses and former students as well. They've adapted and they're really coming out the other side, which is great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And so tell me, because we're talking a little bit about social media today. So tell me, what's something that you've learned in the last couple of weeks in relation to social media that you would like to share with us? It could be a tool, it could be a bit of information or a hack, or just something that's new that you would like to share.
Yeah, definitely. I think that with everything that we've seen, of course, with the Facebook ban and the changes with Google, it was great to see. Like, I absolutely live and breathe news, so I am so grateful that we are seeing news on our feeds now. But I think that, one thing that I have done since your classes as well with CMN 308 and 309, like making sure that I'm subscribed to Social Media Examiner and Social Media Today, and I'm following the right people on LinkedIn that are influential in this space. So I'm loving learning more about Reels. We're experimenting more with Reels and doing some great Reels for a party client that we have as well, which is wonderful. Social media stories from an Instagram perspective, the insights on that for some of our clients at the moment are so incredible. And I think that for so many years, we've focused a lot on the Instagram feed, for instance, but the power of stories is incredible, especially when you've got a targeted brand to a target market and audience, and we can see those insights through the reporting tools as well. So
yeah, totally. Stories are so they're amazing. And there's been research to show that people are looking at stories more than the main feed. So it's really important to use them and to try and get as much reach with those as possible. So I totally agree.
Definitely. And I think as well, just like, and I know in some of the past shows as well, like some of the interviewees and the guest speakers have also talked about, Pinterest, for instance. Like, Pinterest is really great as well. So that's something that a lot of our clients haven't necessarily used too much. Like, they focus mainly on LinkedIn because we have a lot of real estate clients and in the medical industry. So LinkedIn's more appropriate. But, Pinterest, for say, mum has a range for babies and children, for instance, then Pinterest, a lot of products are picked up from that. So we certainly make sure that with our clients at Rachael Elizabeth Consulting, that we are making sure that the social media is married up, of course, to the target market of the brand that we represent, and can best be reported on as well.
Totally. I mean, there's no point otherwise, isn't it? So
yeah, right.
And so tell me now, like, what you've talked about some of the best advice you've been given, but now it's your turn to give some advice. So what advice could you give to emerging professionals or current students about how to succeed in their career?
Yeah, definitely. I think that when you're passionate about something, you are going to do everything that you can in your power to live and breathe and absorb that. So whether it is wanting to aspire to be a social media manager or, a social media coordinator, you've got to start out somewhere, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Like, no question is ever a silly question. I think just getting as much experience once again as possible. So you might aspire to one day be that social media manager, but you need to get your foot in the door to be a coordinator, to learn from those managers that would be in your team. I just think, just putting yourself out there. If you can find a mentor, that's such an incredible thing to have. And, to be supported too by your fellow colleagues, and professional development is key. I really think that professional development is the key to success, both professionally, of course, and personally, because it really helps you grow as a person and you stay at the forefront of the industry. And because social media is evolving so much, make sure that you are subscribed to all the industry newsletters. You're following the people that have the best advice, and of course staying across all of the new news and regulations that come with the algorithm changing so much as well. And I think it's just 24/7, isn't it? Just with social media and industry. Definitely.
Yeah, it is. And do you agree that if you want to work in social media, you've got to be active yourself on the platform? So you've got to be creating content and interacting and engaging with other people's stuff as well.
Yeah, that's
one of the first things employers do if you want to work in the field is they look you up.
Most definitely, yeah. They go to social media and they'll see, is that profile professional, and are they, upholding the right morals and things. So, years and years ago when you went for a job, it was very hard, of course, to look people up. But I think, having that social media presence, both personally and professionally, and building your brand is definitely something that you always are working on. And I know that when you are passionate about something, like I love social media so much that, like if it's working in the day on a campaign to, in the evening following an influencer that I really enjoy as well. So it might be, in the day I'm working on a campaign for a health client, whether it's a doctor creating content, and then in the evening I'm following influencers that perhaps at that target market for that client as well. So I think social media just is all encompassing, and if you're passionate about what you do too, they say you never work a day in your life. And I feel very blessed throughout my journalism and PR career and now social media as well that I've been very lucky to love what I do. And it was really great to interview you as well for the digital detox story last year when we were going through COVID lockdown. So thank you.
That's okay. That was fine. And we should probably say a little bit about that because, yes, I've actually done research with some social media managers and they find it very hard to disconnect. So while we love it, like sometimes we also need time to shut off and give our eyes and brains a rest as well. So that's really
true. I agree. And I actually have done that recently in the last week or so, that from a personal perspective, I've had a bit of a social media detox. And I think it just allows you to reset and refocus as well. And for the last year, I hadn't really had a break at all. So it's been great to have that. Of course, still from a professional perspective, I'm doing what we need to do for our clients. It's been really good.
Of course.
Yeah, so I am so grateful that we've got to chat about that. That was when I was working at My Weekly Preview too. They're a fantastic publication on the coast, which they're doing some really great things too in the digital space also. And it's wonderful to see what all the different brands are doing this year. And I think everyone's growing their social media presence even more.
Yeah, absolutely. And so speaking of that, so now it's the most important question of the whole show it's the name of the show. Who do you like, share and follow?
Yep. This question I think is my favorite as well. From a like perspective, definitely all the industry professionals that I do admire, all the big marketing gurus, Gary G and so forth, in terms of personal people that I love to follow, of course, friends and family. I think that you really do need to ensure that you're supporting your friends and family too from a like perspective. From a sharing perspective, I love to share news sources such as Queensland Health, especially with the COVID pandemic as well. And from a following perspective, I really, really enjoy following Melissa Doyle, who from an early part of my career I have really admired and I still do today. And I've been very, very lucky to meet her in person a couple of times as well. And I think she is amazing how she balances her work life and family life. So, yeah, but I think there's always amazing people to like, share and follow. And I will certainly tag people that I enjoy following in the comments as well.
Right. Thank you, because then other people can check them out as well. So we've come to the end of our chat, but do you have any final words to share with people watching?
Yeah, I think that just don't ever give up on your dreams, whatever that might be, whatever that might look like. we only get one life, and we certainly need to ensure that we are enjoying it as much as possible. And you see that often people, they start out studying one thing, and then they'll, take a different direction. But all that life experience that you have with taking that direction, it comes with you, and it builds your character, and it builds your resilience. And professionally and personally, I think you'll become a better, stronger person. So, yeah, and make sure you get into that work experience as well. You won't ever regret doing that.
Excellent. Very wise words. Thank you so much, Rachael. And next week we have Taylor Gale, who is the Associate Director of Shakes Queer. So, we'll welcome Taylor next week. So thank you again, Rachael, and I'll see everyone else next week. It'll be episode 40. I can't believe it's been that many, but anyway, thank you. See you later.
Bye. Cheers. Bye.